Hi, this is Little Dwarf playing games while rambling incoherently into the microphone. Why? Well, just because I can, and I continue with Portal with the developer commentary on. I suppose this is going to be the last episode.
Sorry for you, really, because you're not even in the right place. You should have turned left before. It's funny, actually, when you think about it. Someday we'll remember this and laugh, and laugh, and laugh. Oh, boy. Well, you may as well come on back.
Not quite sure where to place the second portal, but I guess maybe I need to jump across. I'm not sure if this is going to actually work.
I feel sorry for you, really, because you're not even in the right place. You should have turned left before. It's funny, actually, when you think about it. Someday we'll remember this and laugh, and laugh, and laugh. Oh, well, you may as well come on back.
Okay, I'll save here. But I'm actually not certain. Okay, it did work out quite well in the end, if only because of the property of portals that allows me to stand sort of in the middle of them. This looks like something that's going to open up when I step on it. But I can't place any portals on the other side. Okay, that was a really stupid death on my part, but again, this sort of confirms one of my earlier theories about how much easier it would have been for GLaDOS to just shoot the player instead of trying to incinerate them. Okay, this is not going to work actually. To be honest, I seem unusually durable in this section. I have been shot a lot and I didn't die, so I'm not quite sure what's up with that.
As the end of the game draws closer, we increase the ratio of time-pressured puzzles, like this turret ambush, to give the players the sense that they're approaching a climactic encounter.
Oh, sorry about that.
An important design goal of these post-escape levels was to give players the sense that they're running wild inside the guts of the facility. With that in mind, we added plenty of nooks and crannies for players to crawl into or place portals through. This ended up being a tricky lighting challenge, as the areas needed to be bright enough to navigate, while still being dim enough to feel like obscure, disused sections of the building.
This is actually interesting because it uses those handprints as a clue that there is something worth investigating here.
You're not a good person. You know that, right? Good people don't end up here. Can you hear me?
Can I just jump across? Apparently so. I didn't think it would have been so easy, but...
Put me down.
Over here? So up or over here? I'm not quite sure. This is just another hideout of his. Unless that's like multiple people. But I guess the handwriting and the overall message is consistent, which would suggest that it's a single person running through the facility. I remember that when I first played this game at release, those hidden compartments combined with the messages always creeped me out. Anything here? Oh, she's watching you. That's a camera, right? I think there's nothing new. It's just an area added for flavor. Oh, okay, that wasn't really what I had in mind.
This is your fault. It didn't have to be like this. I'm not kidding now. Turn back or I will kill you. I'm going to kill you. And all the cake is gone. You don't even care, do you? This is your last chance.
It's still a garbled up recipe for cake, and chocolate cake mix, purpose flour, blah blah blah, coconut sauce something, vanilla extract, vanilla frosting, margarine.
Sarcasm. GLaDOS is sarcastic a lot. And that's so much fun. But while I was trying to do this, trying to build in all these emotions, I still had to maintain the computer sound and maintain the pronunciation of repeated phrases. You know, aperture science and the enrichment center.
Oh, well, she actually does sound a lot like a robot, even without the post-processing. Which I guess is exactly why she gets hired to do all those kinds of voice acting jobs, because it's much easier if you start with a person who does excuse me, who does resemble a robotic voice to begin with. I think this is like a rocket turret.
These rocket sentries originally fired lasers. We switched from lasers to rockets after we introduced the glass breaking mechanic, mainly because glass shattering in a massive rocket explosion turned out to be a lot more satisfying than glass just slowly being melted by a laser. Originally they also spoke, just like the bullet turrets. Because players often redirect the rockets with their backs to the turret, however, a distinct, uncluttered sound cue was required. The voice simply added too much noise to the rocket redirect mechanic.
Actually, I'm not even sure what he's meaning by a rocket redirect mechanic. I'm not redirecting anything. I'm just standing in the way of it and then retreating before it shoots. But I guess maybe it's elaborated upon a little bit later. I don't really remember. All that I remember is that I should be pretty close to the ending. But actually, do I? Because there's another piece of glass here. So do I somehow need to guide the rocket here? But it's not a homing rocket, so I don't understand how would I even do that. Over here, but how do I cross the room? That is the question I'm having currently. I don't think there's anything else here. Kinda confused. I'm pretty sure it's something obvious, and that I'm going to feel like an idiot when I finally figure it out. That doesn't really help me in any way. Ah, okay, I get it now. It is indeed quite easy when you think about it, and I guess it also makes sense now that the developer was talking. Excuse me. Was talking about redirecting the excuse me. I was talking about redirecting the missiles, because obviously that's exactly what you need to do. And I do indeed feel like an idiot for thinking about it for so long. That's actually quite clever. Like, not on my part, obviously. Far from it. On the part of the developers themselves to place this puzzle in such a way.
Breaking this tube gives players a chance to test out their newly trained rocket redirecting and glass breaking skills in a slightly different context, which helps cement the training.
Oh, I think I might have accidentally spoiled myself regarding what I'm supposed to do here, but I guess after solving this part with the glass and the portals, it wouldn't have taken me much longer. So, will it... I'm not quite sure what I accomplished here, because I thought that the cube will fall out and I will be able to use it to crawl into the vent over here, but that's apparently not the case, which makes me sort of confused. Oh, I guess the cube did fall out. It's just that it also fell through the portal immediately, and thus landed in the other room, which is sort of interesting in itself. It's quite hilarious, actually.
Breaking this too.
I'm just clicking the unused commentary notes because I'm somewhat annoyed by the suggestion. Oh, damn it! That was done too early. What's that? Is that a bug from the last time I died or something? I'm not sure what's that supposed to represent. I wanted to avoid that happening this time, but maybe it's actually supposed to happen. Like, it adds another sort of layer of complexity to the puzzle, because you expect the cube to fall here, but then you forget that there was a portal in the floor, so it falls onto the other side. Okay, I hope I'm supposed to go down there, because if not, I'm going to lock myself. But it does seem to be the right way. Oh. I've accidentally walked into a loading screen. Okay, I'm dead. That's actually quite a complicated layout. Okay. I'm going to dispose of the turrets first, just because it's easier to plan my next move when I'm not being shot at.
Target lost. Please put me down.
I think it's just one more.
Hey. Searching. Uh-oh. Critical error.
Oh, there's still one there.
Put me down. Are you still? I don't hate you.
Okay, now I think that's all of them. And I think I'm supposed to fling myself from there first let's listen to the commentary node.
This massive turret ambush was originally a lot more massive, with turrets that dropped from the ceiling and popped out of surprise hatches. In fact, for a while, it was the game's climactic battle. Through playtesting, we learned that this type of pure combat experience didn't really fit with the preceding few hours of player training. Over several iterations, we toned down the combat and made the room more about using portal momentum to fling yourself great distances, a skill that playtesters really enjoyed using, and that's a key component of what eventually became our final battle.
So apparently I was supposed to fling myself into those niches and dispose of the turrets this way, but it seems a much more complicated way than just setting a portal inside and then walking in on the turret from behind. So yeah, so that's not what I'm supposed to do. What I'm supposed to do is to jump through here and then place the other portal on the elevated piece. Damn it. Okay, I think it did work this time, so yeah, I think I'm on the right track. I'm just really bad at the execution, but I think the idea itself has potential. Oh wait, again I'm just being stupid about it, because obviously what I need to do, I don't need to fling myself all the way, I just need to place a portal on the other side. It's actually even impossible to... Oh. It's just weird. For a second I thought it was impossible to place a portal up here, but it just works a little weird. Okay, it did work out all right. So now, what I think I need to do is to fling myself up, because I don't think I can reach any surface that I can place a portal on from here. But it's a little bit annoying, because if I do it incorrectly, then I'll fall all the way down, and then I'll have to repeat this whole section. So yeah, I guess it is a valid idea. I'm just again rather bad at the execution. Okay, that did work out alright. Oh, okay, that's a little bit confusing. Let's try again.
Originally, these catwalks were decorative, but playtesters consistently thought they were significant and often spent a lot of time trying to reach them. We didn't want to stand between people and their desire to walk on the catwalks, so we redesigned the area to make catwalks not only accessible, but also necessary to proceed.
That kind of reminds me of the fact that I often spend a lot of time trying to get into areas that end up being totally inconsequential. I think I saw that already, because I think it's the exact same slideshow that was shown earlier. Yeah. But I'm actually confused because this is the ending. So, like, it seems that the commentary was actually wrong. Like, they implied that they changed the layout of the level to make navigating the catwalks essential towards finishing the game. But I not only do not need to go up there, it seems to me that I very much can't, because all those surfaces, you can't place a portal on them. So I must admit I'm a little bit confused by that, unless they mean this particular catwalk, but it very much functions and seems to me more like a bridge, and like it's pretty obvious you need to use it. I thought he was talking about those ones around you, but you still don't use them. So I'm a little bit confused by that. Unless they factor somehow into the ending, because like I do remember there's a quote-unquote boss battle, but I don't remember the exact details of it.
Well, you found me. Congratulations. Was it worth? Because despite your violent behavior, the only thing you've managed to break so far is my heart. Maybe you could settle for that and we'll just call it a day. I guess we both know that isn't going to happen. You chose this path. Now I have a surprise for you. Deploying surprise in 5, 4... Time out for a second. That wasn't supposed to happen. Do you see that thing that fell out of me? What is that? It's not the surprise. I've never seen it before. Never mind. It's a mystery I'll solve later. By myself. Because you'll be dead. I wouldn't bother with that thing. My guess is that touching it will just make your life even worse, somehow.
It's funny how the images above GLaDOS circle between
I don't want to
images
tell
of
you your
various,
business, but if it were me, I'd leave that thing alone.
Of various types of cake and of various types
Do you
of
think
weapons
I'm
and
trying to trick
tools.
you with reverse psychology? I mean, seriously now.
The fiction behind this red phone is that while GLaDOS was being developed, it was
Okay,
somebody's
fine.
job to
Don't
sit by
touch
it.
it.
And
Pick
if
it
it
up
ever
and
looked like
just
the AI
stuff
was
it back
becoming
into me.
sentient and godlike, that person would pick up the phone and call somebody to come
Let's be
help.
honest.
In
Neither
the
one
point
of
in
us
time where
knows
the
what
actual
that
game
thing
takes
does.
place, it's
Just
become
put it in
obvious
the
that the
corner,
Aperture Science
and I'll
red
deal
phone
with it
clone
later.
didn't 100% work.
Okay, that's
That thing is
actually
probably
both
some kind of raw
hilarious,
sewage container. Go ahead and rub your face all over it.
and kind of, I don't know,
Maybe you
weird
should marry
in
that thing
how
since you
much
love
of
it so much. Do you want to marry it? Well, I won't let you. How does that feel?
Shut up, I'm trying to talk here. How much of an inefficient plan that was to just have somebody sitting by a phone and try to warn about imminent AI takeover. So
I am being serious now. That crazy thing is not part of any test protocol. Just ignore
okay,
that
I'll
thing
listen to
and
the
stand still.
commentaries because I'm not sure how much time will I have left after that.
Where are you taking
So
that
when they
thing?
told me that there was going to
Think
be a
about
song
it. If
at
that
the
thing is
end,
important,
I thought,
why don't I know about
well,
it?
all right, who's going to write the song? And they told me there was going to be a song written by Jonathan Colton. And I listened to a song that
I'll tell you
Jonathan
what that
had
thing
written,
isn't.
and it was
It
very
isn't
fun and very
yours,
clever.
so leave it alone.
So I thought at that point, well, this will be okay. But I am an opera singer, so usually I sing.
Are you even listening to me?
And I thought, well, will I be able to have the right style for the song? So I was concerned. But then before the
I'll tell you
recording,
what that thing isn't.
they sent
It
me an
isn't
MP3
yours,
file
so leave it
of
alone.
the song, and I listened to it with Jonathan singing it, but I loved the little song. And at home, as I practiced the little song, I tried to, get back to GLaDOS's voice. Aperture Science, just this tiny little passive-aggressive computer who's all alone until people try to come in and murder her. So of course she gets upset. But she seems to have this real affinity for cake. And I want to play the game because I want to recreate the cake recipe and then put Portal on it and be able to serve it to my friends when they come over to my house.
That's kind of cute, I guess. But also, the voice actor for GLaDOS has a really beautiful singing voice, like the part where she demonstrated the way she usually sings as an opera singer. I found that quite beautiful and interesting because it's so different from the way GLaDOS sounds in the ending.
GLaDOS, the rogue disk operating system that now runs Aperture Science, went through a bunch of design iterations. Earlier versions included a floating brain, a sprawling spidery mechanism, and an upside-down version of Botticelli's Rise of Venus built out of robot parts and wire. Eventually, we settled on a huge mechanical device with a delicate robotic figure dangling out of it, which successfully conveys both GLaDOS's raw power and her femininity.
Well, okay, so let's start disposing of the parts. I have a vague memory of the fact that one of the cores of GLaDOS seems to recite a recipe for cake while you try to destroy it, which is sort of hilarious. Okay, so it's this part of this type of a situation where I don't have enough time to travel all the way across to the incinerator, and I mean, why would I? Like, this whole game is about utilizing portals to complete your objectives, so...
You're kidding me. Did you just stuff that Aperture Science thing, we don't know what it does, into an Aperture Science Emergency Intelligence Incinerator? That has got to be the dumbest thing that... Whoa. Good news. I figured out what that thing you just incinerated did. It was a morality core they installed after I flooded the enrichment center with a deadly neurotoxin to make me stop flooding the enrichment center with a deadly neurotoxin. So get comfortable while I warm up the neurotoxin emitters. Oh, that core may have had some ancillary responsibilities. I can't shut off the turret defenses. Oh well. If you want my advice, you should just lie down in front of a rocket. Trust me, it'll be a lot less painful than the neurotoxin. Alright. Keep doing whatever it is you think you're doing. Killing you and giving you good advice aren't mutually exclusive. The rocket really is the way to go.
What's that?
Okay, that's kind of weird.
To me. It's the fluid catalytic cracking unit. It made shoes for orphans. Nice job breaking it, hero.
Oh hey, you're the lady from the test. Hi. What's that noise?
This isn't
So is this like a
it's murder.
curiosity
What did
center
I ever do to
or something?
you?
Because it seems to be
The difference
constantly
between
asking
us is that
questions.
I can feel pain. You don't even care, do you?
I'm not even sure why I backtracked here.
Where are we going?
I guess I just got
Do you
a
smell
little bit
something burning?
confused.
Oh, you think you're doing some damage?
2 + 2 is...
In base 4, I'm fine. I let you survive this long because I was curious about your behavior. Well, unfortunately, as much as I'd love to now, I can't get the neurotoxin into your head any faster. I'd just like to point out that you were given every opportunity to
Wait.
succeed. There was even going to be a party
Where
for
is the
you.
other?
A big party that all your friends were invited to. I invited your
I
best
guess I
friend, the companion,
did something
too.
wrong because
Of course, he couldn't come because you murdered him. All your other friends couldn't come either because you don't have any other friends because of how unlikable you are. It says so right here in your personnel file. Unlikable. Liked by no one. A bitter, unlikable loner whose passing shall not be mourned. Shall not be mourned. That's exactly what it says. Very formal. Very official. It also says you were adopted. So that's funny too.
okay, I'm a little bit confused because
Speaking of
I seem to be
curiosity,
missing
you're curious about what happens
one of the
after
cores.
you die, right? Guess what? I know. You're going to find out firsthand before I finish explaining it though, so I won't bother. Here's a hint. You're gonna want to pack as much living as you can into the next couple of minutes. That thing you burned up isn't important to me. It's the fluid catalytic cracking unit. It made shoes for orphans. Nice job
Yeah, but what
breaking
about
it,
the
hero.
next one? Can I just maybe... I
This
don't
isn't
think I can
brave.
just grab it.
It's murder. What did I ever do to you? The difference between us is that I can feel pain. You don't even care, do you?
Because the turret is deactivated, so it makes me think I've definitely done something wrong.
Did you hear me? I said you don't care. Are you listening?
Oh wait, I'm a freaking idiot. It pointed me into the right direction all the time,
That's it.
and I just
I'm
didn't
done
notice.
reasoning with you. Starting now, there's going to be a lot less conversation and a lot more killing.
1 18.25 ounce package chocolate cake mix. 1 can
Yeah, and that's the part that recites an endless recipe
What
for
was that
cake.
for? Did you say something? I sincerely hope you weren't expecting a response, because I'm not talking to you. The talking is over.
2/3 cups granulated sugar, 2 cups all-purpose flour. Don't forget.
Neurotoxin. So deadly. Joking.
Kidding.
When I said deadly neurotoxin, the deadly was in that. Put it on cereal, rub it right into my eyes. Honestly, it's not deadly at all.
To me.
You, on the other hand, are going to find its deadliness a lot less funny. Who's gonna make the cake when I'm gone? You. Look.
I wonder how I'm
You're
supposed
wasting
to
your time.
grab it from the air.
You don't have
I guess like that.
What's your point anyway? Survival. Well then, the last thing you want to do is hurt me. I have your brain scanned and permanently backed up in case something terrible happens to you. Which it's just about to. Don't believe me? Here, I'll put you on.
Although I
That's
might
you.
actually
That's
not have
how dumb
enough...
you sound.
Oh freak.
You've been wrong about every single thing you've ever done, including this thing. You're not smart. You're not a scientist. You're not a doctor. You're not even a full-time employee. Where did your life go so wrong? Are you trying to escape?
I might actually not have enough time.
What's going on out there will make you you're back in here. I have an infinite capacity. All I know is I'm the only thing standing between us and them. Unless your other plans are building some supercomputer parts in the hurry. That's not what you call the eternity.
I actually didn't remember that part, that you're allegedly dragged back into the facility by some kind of a robot. I only remembered that you end up outside, but that's the part where they will display the cake. And I'm not sure if those are implied to be like copies of GLaDOS's cores or something, because they look awfully similar. And now comes the song, one of the best parts. So I'll just shut up and let GLaDOS.
I'm making a note here, huge success. It's hard to overstate my satisfaction. Aperture science. We do what we must because we can. For the good of all of us, except the ones who are dead. But there's no sense crying over every mistake. You just keep on trying till you run out of cake. And the science gets done and you make a neat gun for the people who are still alive. I'm not even angry. I'm being so sincere right now. Even though you broke my heart and killed me and tore me to pieces and threw every piece into a fire. As they burned, it hurt because I was so happy for you. Now these points of data make a beautiful line, and we're out of data, we're releasing on time. So I'm glad I got burned. Think of all the things we learned for the people who are still alive. Go ahead and leave me. I think I prefer to stay inside. Maybe you'll find someone else to help you. Maybe Black Mesa. That was a joke. Haha, that chance. Anyway, this cake is great. It's so delicious and moist. Look at me still talking when there's science to do. When I look up there, it makes me glad I'm not you. I've experiments to run. There is research to be done on the people who are still alive. And believe me, I am still alive. I'm doing science
Okay, so that was Portal with the developer commentary on. Apparently you get a celebratory screen in the end with cake and all, and your companion cube, which you've murdered, or one of the kind. Anyway, now, it was really nice to replay this game after all those years, especially with the developer commentary on, because I found it very interesting and very enlightening in some of the details of what they were considering, how to interest the player in various parts of the level, how they utilize lighting, how the various systems work, how the players sometimes were even more clever than the developers, which caused the developers to rethink the whole idea for the level. I felt rather stupid playing the game, especially like in the later parts, where there were a couple of sections in which I got stuck for far too long, far longer than I would have liked, and it didn't really, it didn't really present me as a logically minded person capable of solving problems. But oh well, that's just me. But overall, I wouldn't say Portal 1 was difficult. As I mentioned a couple of times, it seems to me more like an extended proof of concept. So I'm very interested in playing Portal 2, which would be a blind playthrough, and comparing it in difficulty, and also in, I wonder how much Portal 2 will betray regarding the connections between Aperture Science and Black Mesa, and the broader connection that would situate Portal in the world of Half-Life, because obviously in Portal 1 the only sort of clue you had to that was the mentioning of Black Mesa. And also at the ending, GLaDOS said something about, if you knew what was out there, you would be happy that I'm keeping you inside. So that seems to imply that Portal 1 takes place either after the Combine has already conquered Earth, or maybe in the process of actually doing that. Because obviously that wouldn't be much of an inconvenience for GLaDOS herself. By the point of starting Portal 1, she has already killed all of the humans inside Aperture Science. So I wonder what the Combine would have done with GLaDOS if they came into contact with her. But again, this is something that maybe Portal 2 will elaborate on. But for now, I guess that's all for this one. I'm not sure if I'm going to play the bonus maps. I'll think about it, but as for the main campaign, that's all for Portal 1, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!